Welcome, dear viewers, Xnick here. I'm going to be recording the last games of this deck. That is very amusing, but I think it needs a remake. And thank you, everybody, for sharing your thoughts. It means a lot to me. And it's a pity for me that I wasn't able to upload more often lately, but I hope to get on track now. But for the time being, I'm not really know how much else I can do. So let's see. Let's just focus on the games, and I want to maybe do another video in which I can talk about the state of the current issues in the game mostly, and maybe some part of the life. Let's see here. So in this game we have the Flameblade Angel already in hand, which it's not ideal. And now that I've found the Tireless Tracker, I'm less prone to play the Evolving Wilds right now. So let's say opponent has Renegade map. I think I can wait a few turns before I use the Implement of Combustion. So one thing of my deck in this case is that we don't really want to be drawing too much. We prefer to have our important cards in the deck that we can use Evolution, the Eldritch Evolution to find, or something else. A second Renegade map, opponent with black and green, probably means a Revolt deck, or if we see another color, no, okay, it's black. I was thinking if we see more colors, perhaps some Planeswalkers, but another land. I think here I'm afraid I'm going to have to be drawing here. I don't want to just play the Tireless Tracker without any value, so I'm going to wait until I can use the Evolving Wild, so I get 2 clues. If I had found the Caravan one turn earlier, then things would have changed. So we have Mockery of Nature. We could use that one to destroy the Renegade map, but the opponent can sacrifice it in response, which also is not a very interesting target for Mockery of Nature. Now Shadows of the Past, on the other hand, is going to let the opponent scry maybe too much. So if he's sending artifacts to the graveyard, maybe it's a Delirium deck. Let's go ahead, Tireless Tracker. I don't expect the Tireless Tracker to be left alive for too long, so let's see what kind of removal the opponent runs up there. Anyways, we are getting closer to cast the Flameblade Angel. 4 mana, and here comes Greyblade Marauder. So it makes sense, it's a very strong combination, these two, so we can expect the opponent sending lots of creatures and probably other kind of cards to the graveyard. Maybe he combines graveyard interaction with also some, let's say, some Revolt or something else. So of course we don't want to send the Tireless Tracker down there, so I think we just Evolving Wilds and Caravan 2. Let's open up the Evolving Wilds. Give me a mountain. So not completely in our favor to be draining our library from basic lands, since we want to leave some cards in the library for us to use the evolution, but I think that on the other hand we can now improvise a strong, powerful creature with these clues. So that's one thing to be done here. Now we could also emerge out of the Tireless Tracker to get rid of these shadows of the past. So here we take 1 point. Now Greyblade Marauder can deal much more if the opponent sends more creatures to the graveyard. Alright, this demon is quite troublesome for us. I'm going to play the angel here. If we can make our Tireless Tracker grow, he can pass through this demon, but we need to spend quite a lot of mana to do that. It's not going to be easy. A renegade map, so for the time being I'm going to leave it there. We have one land in our hand, so really not a rush for us. So here comes Woodland Bellower, probably takes out the Reclamation Sage, so goodbye Caravan. No, instead it's the Elvish Visionary, not the enchantment or artifact removal. That's interesting. We can leave this guy on the board, so the opponent takes 2 points of damage next upkeep. I think it works out for us. And the Flameblade Angel hits the opponent back. Another Caravan. So 1, 2. So we have 4, 8. So that means we can provide the Tireless Tracker with a lot of counters, but I don't think he can get through the Woodland Bellower. Breaker of Armies in hand is not our best move here. Let's draw again. Well, if I play this now, then I cannot open up more clues. Let's open up one more. Now, so maybe this I'm willing to use to sacrifice. So I'm going to drop this. Probably. Do I keep this guy on defense? I think so. We might need the blocker, especially with the demon up there. Okay, let's see if the opponent has something here. This is going to be difficult, guys. We don't want the Breaker of Armies in our hand, and we don't have haste yet to send him right away. We can make a lot of blockers with the Albenwald Mysteries, but it's going to cost us lots of mana. That's one of the weak points of the deck. We can cast our creatures for a huge discount, but we don't actually ramp enough. So here comes this, here comes the pain. So I can get rid of this Kutlon Bellower, which might be a good idea with the Tireless Tracker. Then put the Skygate in front of the Greyblade Marauder, and look at that. Okay, so here we take 7 damage if I block like this. I think I can do this better. I was considering in sacrificing my Skygate, but I like this idea better. So okay, fair enough. We still are in great danger here, but maybe we can resolve the mysteries and get a bunch of tokens that can help us be safe. And I think that if we are going to be doing that, we don't need to save artifacts for the improvised creatures. Alright, just another land. Let's put the mysteries here. Is it worth to draw here? So opponent has quite a lot of attackers. I'm going to attack with this angel and try to survive. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 1/1s hidden in my clues with the Albenwild Mysteries, which also means I draw 3 more cards, but we are suffering 6 points of life here, and the opponent has, well, way too much attackers up there. Big risk. Let's do this first. Okay, again. Okay, one more time. We tap our caravan, but anyways, I wasn't going to block with caravan. And if the opponent has a pump spell, we die on the spot. So hopefully that's not the case. But here comes Titanic Growth, and it's over. So we tried. We have actually, our draws were not very good here, but it was an amusing game. Let's see what happens on our next one. I blame the deck. I think the deck needs some more work. Alright, let's see how this goes. I won't give up, but if our opponent is going for a very aggressive and fast red deck, our hopes are not too much. But we can win. There is a possibility for us to win, but we need our draws to proceed in the proper way. And here not having green is a great downside. Let's use a new hand here. Nope. We have the cards that we don't want to have in our hand. And this one is not better than our first hand, but now it turns a bit more attractive here. Tireless Tracker and the Eldritch Evolution already, which means we could get out Samut, for instance. But seems that our opponent is going to be very aggressive here. This land can grant haste to his creatures. He has a flyer with haste. We are in trouble. So don't expect too much. Oh, stop drawing these guys. No, I don't want to draw you, Breaker of Hermes. Go back to the deck. Ouch! The opponent hardcast Arms of Pain, paying full mana cost, but it means he gains 3 life and we lose 3. And the chances for any of our creatures to survive are very slim. Maybe it's better to save the Titan's presence for the bat. But opponent still hasn't found red, so maybe I play Tireless Tracker. This should delay a little bit the opponent trying to kill our Tireless Tracker. Then if he has a stronger creature, we use Titan's Presence, and in the meantime we hope to find more lands. Opponent still going face. Alright, here goes Cinderblade. Give me something cool. Somewhat cool. Let's swing here. We need to hit our lands because we have our combo in hand that we don't want. The reason to have the Eldritch Evolution is to put this from the deck, not Martyr's Compulsion. Alright, I knew something like this was bound to happen. Opponent probably also has Fairy Temper, but still is waiting for red. But this play gives us land, well, clue. Then we. Oh, this is good. Now we're going to use Bioway Courier. Let's see if the opponent kills her also. If the opponent kills her, we get our clue before our next turn, so we have an additional draw, and otherwise we have the option to use Eldritch Evolution. Also, we have Timidious Journal. So this calls for our Samut right away. It's a pity because Samut is pretty key in our deck. Our opponent is not attacking now with the bat. So let's get Timidious Journal. Looks like the opponent is trying to get to the Liliana's emblem here. Still no red. This guy can put a counter on another vampire, but he doesn't have any yet. Another shrinking of the courier. We can cast the Regent next turn. We can also use Titan's Presence. So here, this guy cost us 4. If I play this, we can play this too, I guess. Alright, let's do it. Now we have to pay 3 for the free gem Regent. And this is, the opponent can kill the free gem Regent, but he has to combine a couple of spells or abilities from Liliana, maybe. Let's see what happens. We can also Eldritch Evolution the free gem Regent to get our Breaker of Armies. But since we don't have haste quite yet, I think we should probably wait. This is problematic because this card can be used to discard cards on demand, and we have seen already opponent having madness cards. Here comes the incorrigible Judge, a big vampire with haste, but it goes just to the graveyard. Opponent has not read, so I don't know why he decided to do that. Maybe to show off. Do this, sacrifice. Alright. You can always Eldritch Evolution the Flameblade Angel. I'm going to attack Liliana with this guy. I think the opponent's going to put the bat or the... yeah, the bat is good. We are going to get the Breaker of Armies. Already he could be killed with a number of removal from black red also, but I think we have to do it. Anyways, we have another one in hand that we cannot play yet. Let's see what is the opponent trying to do here. So he finally found the mountain that he could have used earlier to play the Judge. Demon's Grasp is going to shrink. Okay, actually that makes it possible for us to use Temiyo's Journal, which is a big deal here. So we can go ahead and find any card that we want. What do we want? Let's do it. Right. What card do we want here? Maybe something that we can play, or a land. Another Flameblade Angel. Looks interesting. Ovilla also interesting. I think perhaps having Samut is the best choice for us. Double strike, vigilance is quite important. We are going to drop Hunger Battlements and the Flameblade Angel. We cannot give her haste because we have to tap and pay red for that. But here comes... so here the opponent is forced to block with both creatures. And goodbye vampires. So for the first time ever my plan has succeeded, but we had to probably do a bit of hard casting. There we go. So Liliana is up there hanging by a thread. We can take her down with Samut and even any scary creature that the opponent might have. We have Titan's Presence. Now the opponent probably looking for a removal for our Breaker of Armies. Another Murderous Compulsion. Well, yeah, I don't think this is going to matter too much. So here probably we do not want to tap the Flameblade Angel, just in case. On the other hand, not enough mana. One more mana and we could probably kill the opponent. So this gets in for 6 and we have 14 already, but the opponent has one blocker that we could remove using Titan's Presence, but we cannot afford to do everything right now, so let's just smooth. That leaves us room to activate one of these, but we have the journal, so I think we prefer to keep our clues. And here we just go, okay, let's continue. Let's go to the face. It doesn't matter because it's going to get the block, and make sure that Liliana is out of the picture. Alright, this is pretty great now. And alright, if we need to, maybe we can cast our second Breaker of Armies and give it haste, but it seems that the opponent has nothing up there. This is a defender, so we cannot attack. Maybe we just get something fun for the sake of having cool stuff happening. Let's say, oh yeah, let's go with another Flame Blade. Or no, you know what? Flame Blade is pretty demanding, so let's put that. This giant already has haste of his own, so we can cast this guy and send him right away. Well, we don't need to tap this guy, but okay. An interesting aspect of the deck here, Samut has another ability, but we have to pay white to activate it, but we have the caravans, so that's something cool about the deck. Let's close up here with plenty more than it's required, and goodbye vampires. So I hope you have enjoyed the game, and I want to rethink this deck idea. I have a few suggestions with other color combinations for the sake of doing pretty much the same here, but before we get to that, there are many other videos that I have pending, so stay tuned, and until next time, sayonara. And of course, our main goal is to assemble our combo. We have Renegade map by turn 1. Let's keep this. So a bit of a slow start, but we already have one Breaker of Armies on hand, and the Renegade map is going to help us casting Ovia by turn 2. Then we have maybe Cinderglade. Depending on our draw, we can have an untapped Cinderglade on some turn. But we are going against what seems to be aggressive red deck. We don't know if we are going to have the time to set up our combinations, but seeing the Eldritch Evolution here is certainly good. Okay, here we go. Go Ovia. Probably Ovia is going to generate a removal spell from the opponent's hand. But what are you going to do? Anyways, if she stays alive, she provides us with blockers for ages. But this land enters tapped so far. Okay, 2 mana. It's getting scarier. Well, we are going to be having double green for the Eldritch Evolution, but out of Ovia there's not so many interesting things that we can have. This Malakir Blade can hinder our plans if we kill our own creatures. Let's hope we don't get to that point. Implement we can play, but we cannot use it just yet. But anyways, let's go ahead and go with this. We If we get to tap Obia for a token, maybe we start gaining life with the Inventor's Fair. That could be interesting. Also, if we find another red mana, we can cast Piankiran Alar. Dread Warlord. Zombie Jackal can be recovered from the graveyard. Maybe the opponent wants to self-sacrifice his own creatures. This is slow, but I think that we benefit the most from the Oblong Mysteries. Not too sure, because our 1/1s then are going to be feeding this vampire. You can also tap Obia here. Let's get this out of our hand now. Opponent seems to be playing an aggressive deck, but so far has not attacked us. Maybe it's more on the lines of sacrificing. He could have Act of Treason, which will be horrible against our Breaker of Armies. Yeah, I think he probably has Act of Treason. We're not going to block that. We could, if we wanted, to find a clue for ourselves, but I don't think it's the time now. This is nice for us, but first let's try to find land. There we go. Drop the land. Now we could Thopter Engineer, tap Obia, or even play this. Okay, let's go with this. It's a very nice and decent wall. 04 can block flyers and also help us blocking a menace guy. What's it gonna be? Of course, we can also try to set up Piankiran Alar and shoot down these small creatures with the activated ability. Here comes Unblockable Goblin Glory Chaser, which is powerful, but on the other hand, the opponent tapped down for that. Now it gets Renown. And if the opponent has Twin Bolt, for instance, we should not be playing Piankiran Alar, but now we've found the Free Jam Regent, which is very good, tempting to have. Also, if we have Piankiran Alar, then we can Eldritch Evolution for our Angel, but of course the Angel can backfire at us if the opponent finds the Act of Treason. All in all, if it is indeed the Act of Treason deck, we are in trouble. What can we do against that? There's no much we can do to defend against that. Let's see, he exiles. There it is. Well, at least my suspicions are now confirmed. He can now take away, who knows, maybe, well, we can block with the Skygate. This has, what, something wrong happened? No, it's all fine apparently. What happened, game? Well, I don't know. Act of Treason, there's not really a good target, perhaps one of our Thopters, but no, just this. Okay, go ahead. We can block damage with the Skygate. If we sacrifice one of our creatures, then we get some clues from here. With one black mana, the opponent could try to self-kill Yeah, there's the possibility of our opponent killing our guy here. Okay, 1 mana and it's nothing important. Alright, land, not exactly what we might want. But guess another mountain should be interesting. Now we have to be careful and wary of the Malakir Callblade. He gets 1 counter if we try to kill that guy. Alright then, we can play this, but if the opponent has another act of treason, then we're going to regret playing the free gem regent. Oh boy. Let's pass the turn and try to wait until the opponent is out of cards in the hand, so we might play safer. We can activate Piankiran in response to something cut against. Alright, we are going to sacrifice this, kill the Callblade. This is one of the most troublesome guys from the opponent. Maybe he has another spell. Alright, apparently not. But from the graveyard the opponent can't cast ribbons, and that could be complicated. So our Inventor Sphere is giving us some hope here, some fighting chance, and now the opponent has only 2 cards up there. Still scary, but maybe now we can afford to drop something more strong from our side. The opponent would love to know that we have this on our hand. These 2 are just so good for him. Okay, here comes ribbons right away. No mana saving from the opponent. Okay, I think we're going to be taking 6. My plan here probably is to have the mana to use Obidia next to Piankiran to shoot down these attackers. Let's hope we get some additional mana here. Nope. But 3... Oh. We need more mana, guys. So, I could try to open up the clue, but that's not going to be enough mana. Okay, let's... What? I want to kill these 2 guys, but I can't. Okay, let's attack with these 2. And let's see what is the opponent trying to do here. we can either create one additional servo token or perhaps shoot our clue against some of these guys. Okay, this is nice. Opponent is tapping for the Foundry of the Councils, which is good. He doesn't seem to be willing to attack, so let's take down this abbot. There we go. We get a 1-1 here. And hope that we get a land, so we have more options. There we are. This is now fine. We are getting closer to the Breaker of Armies, but since it doesn't have the haste, not quite good. Let's go Thopter Engineer here. Keep 3 mana available. I think I'm attacking with all my Thopters. Well, perhaps not all of them. If the opponent has Act of Treason, then we're going to be sad if he takes one of our Thopters. Okay. We can cope with that. Continue. We don't want to bring up something too strong for the opponent to steal from us. Maybe this is the worst enemy of our deck. Rogue's Passage against... okay. Infectious Bloodlust on stop. That's not the wisest move, opponent. But maybe he's setting up for this card that he has in his hand. Maybe is the Act of Treason, so maybe all of this is a setup for that. But oh no. We can Eldritch Evolution Samut or our Angel, and that leaves us... no, our Angel takes our Pionkiran Alar. Now let's go Samut. Or maybe, yeah, Pilgrim's Eye also interesting for us, providing us the lands that we are missing, but Flash, Double Strike and Haste for everybody seems pretty sweet at this point in the game. Let's attack with Samut, I guess, and everything. Yeah, I think this should be good enough. There we go, goodbye Thopter. No blocks, okay. Oh, he wants to bring this one back from the graveyard and take down one of our Thopters. Pia, no, I think this is correct. I want to save mana to spawn a servo token. I can save my Thopter, but I don't think that's a good move. Let's pass the turn. We have now Samut on the battlefield that also gives haste, but to every creature, not only artifact creatures. And the opponent has this card remaining, but maybe it's just the land. And now maybe we can shoot down some interesting 4/4 flyers. This double strike is pretty impressive. Okay, stop. Servo time. Well, actually, we could create an XX with X equal to 5/5 on the ground, plus all these other attackers. Or maybe, yeah, let's do a more interesting move, that is creating a 1/1 and play our 7/5 from hand. Go. Oh no, not mana. What? Oh. Well, miscalculation. Let's go Freedom Regent. Finish. Swing with the 4/4 flyer and our Samut. If he has Act of Treason, we might be taking. We might lose the game because Freedom can be in haste, but we are betting on the opponent not having Act of Treason on the next turn. Crossing our fingers. I miscalculated the mana for the Barricade Breaker. That was my mistake. Land and concedes the game. I think he's about to concede the game. Okay, I think this game was interesting because I think that the opponent probably could have played a different way of stuff. Grangle. Okay, he had the equivalent of the Act of Treason with this guy. Power 4 or less. This is one of the strongest cards in this theme. So we take... we lose the game here if the opponent activates the free gem. So we gamble and we lost. I don't know what he's even bothering into attacking with this. Well, on the one hand, I think I did gamble and lost, but did I need to play the free gem regent? Probably. If the opponent did not had the Act of Treason that turn, maybe he would have found it later on the game. So I think my play still was justifiable. Well,